Hey guys, happy Tuesday. Sorry I couldn't make it today, but we're going to go on with the lesson as usual. Then you guys will have your star tomorrow. Then we're going to come back on Thursday to review, and then your test is on Friday. So just a reminder, let me skip ahead to the screen. Test is Friday, and your purple test review sheet is due on Thursday. If you did not get a copy of that, check the Friday makeup work folder, because I pass those out on Friday. All right, so make sure you have your categorical data notes glued on page 75. And whenever you guys are ready, we will move on to the warm-up. So for your warm-up today, I want you to number your paper 1 through 7 and see how many of these words you can fill in. You can pause the video until you've gotten a chance to try. All right, let's go through these words and see how many you got. Let me do my best to write these in the blank. Number 1, the mean is the average of a data set. Remember, you add them up, divide by how many numbers there are. The median is the middle of a data set. Remember, you have to put the numbers in order from least to greatest first, then you can find the middle. Number 3 is the range. That is the difference between the biggest and the smallest number, so biggest minus smallest. And the mode is the number that appears the most often. Just remember mode, most. And then median of the lower half, quartile 1. I'll just put Q1. Median of the upper half, that's quartile 3, Q3. And the IQR is the difference between Q3 and Q1. So make sure you know these words for your test. Go back and study them if you missed any. All right, so we've got one last topic to cover today, which is categorical data. So if you look at the word categorical, it looks like categories, right? So instead of numbers, we're going to be dealing with categories. For example, if I asked you, how many pets do you have? You would give me a number. That would be numerical. If I asked you, what's your favorite sport? You would tell me the sport, so that would count as a category. Did you do your homework last night? That would either be a yes or a no, so that's also categorical. Who is your go time teacher? That's categorical. What did you get on the science test? You'd give me a number, so that's numerical. And how tall are you? You would give me a number. So numerical numbers, categorical is like words or categories. All right, so let's get into the notes on page 75. So categorical data is a data set where the response is not a numeric value. For example, I don't know, favorite food or what type of pet do you have? If you asked somebody those questions, they would give you a category, not a number. And then we're also going to look at something called a relative frequency table, which is where we find the percent of each category. So you can see what percent of people have a cat, or what percent of people have a dog, or whatever category you're working with. So this kind of goes back to histograms when we practice converting percents. Remember, we put the part over the whole, and then the percent goes over 100. So number 1 says a survey is taken to determine the most common pet that students have. Complete the table below. What percent of the students have a fish or a hamster? So let's just go through and calculate the percents for all of these. Then we can go back to the questions. Let's see, we've got, if we want to find the percent, we need to add the 62 cats, 84 people have a dog, 38 hamster, plus 16 fish. All right, so the total is 200. That's a nice number to work with. So that means 62 out of 200 people have a cat. If you're trying to make that out of 100, just cut it in half. So that would be 31 out of 100, 31%. Same thing with dogs. We got 84 out of 200. Cut it in half. That would be 42 out of 100. So then you can see the pattern. We're just going to cut the next one in half. 38 cut in half. What would that be? 19%. And then the 16 cut in half would be 8%. All right, so now back to question A. What percent of students have a fish or a hamster? We can just put them together. So 19% plus 8%, that would be 27%. Which pet has the greatest relative frequency? When it says relative frequency, that just means percent. So the greatest percent was dog. That also can be called the mode because it shows up the most. And then exactly 73% of students owned which two pets? That would be a cat and a dog. 31% plus 43%. Or 42%. All right, so the next part of the categorical data is we're going to look at a type of graph called a percent bar graph. It's pretty easy to read. It just displays your data based on the percent. Kind of like a pie chart, but not a circle. So let me show you an example. I did this one with my class the other day. So I asked people to vote on their favorite season, and this was the percent bar graph. So you can see 20% of the class voted for winter. A little less than 10% voted for spring, maybe like 8%. Let's see, summer, we go from like 28 up to 88. So that's like 60% of the people voted for summer, and then that looks like the other 12% voted for fall. Also, I counted the total people that voted, and there were 25 students in the class. So that worked out pretty nicely. For example, if it was 20% for winter, that means 20 out of 100, 20%. And since 25 people voted in the class, we can just divide by 4 to get there, divide by 4, and you can tell that 5 people voted for winter. So you can take the percents and turn them back into just how many people voted. So that's just one example that we tried out. Let's check out this example. This is the middle school took a survey to determine which new elective should be added. So this is pretty easy to read. What percent chose debate? That looks like exactly 30%. What percent chose drama? That looks like 20%. And the other 50% chose badminton. If 300 students were surveyed, then how many chose drama? All right, so this is kind of like what I just did. We're looking at drama. That is 20%. So 20 over 100. And it's saying there's 300 students that were surveyed. That sounds like the total. And that's easy. Straight across times 3. Straight across times 3. That would be 60. And the question is how many chose drama. So that would be 60. I don't know if it's students or what. Yeah, 60 students. There we go. All right, so that's how categorical data works. A lot of percents are involved. So you guys are going to do an activity on Schoology. Let me show you what it looks like right here. All right, so in a minute, you guys will open up these slides on Schoology. There are 4 slides. You might need to zoom out or scroll over if you can't see the cards. There should be 4 cards over there. You need to read the problem and determine which 3 of these statements are true. So then you can just drag and drop the 3 that are true. Same thing for slide 2, slide 3, and slide 4. All right, you guys are going to need some scratch paper, so help yourself, or a whiteboard. make sure you do a good job on this because I'm going to have you submit it when you're done. So the plan will be to work on the slides, submit that when you're done, and then you can go grab a homework from the sub. And I guess I don't know, I won't see some of you guys tomorrow. So we'll have this homework be due the next time I see you. So I guess, oh, wait a second. Let me think about that. Maybe there is no homework. Yep. All right. Scratch that. I forgot you guys have your star tomorrow. So we're just not going to give you homework. So I'll say you can work on your test review sheet, or do homework for another class. Okay, so my bad. No categorical data homework. You've got your test review sheet due Thursday, so that's all you need to worry about. All right, guys, I will see you when I see you. Peace.